We didn't go walking today because this is what they're predicting for the next 4 days. Poor Ruby. She can't even go out in the backyard. That's been raining pretty good. I'm glad we weren't outside. My subtropical jungle out here. Getting much needed water. See those vines that come out of the top of that bush? I have pulled those things out by the roots by the gazillions, and still they keep coming up. I think if you leave one cell of that thing down in the ground, it comes back. Oh, Ruby was going to brave the rain. She goes out just underneath the eave. Oh, it came and went. You can hear all the frogs. One of these nights, right up there in that tree, every night at the same time, about 6 p.m., there was a bird that gets up there and chirps and chirps and chirps and sings and chirps and chirps. And he does it for about a half an hour. This morning I heard him do it in the morning. But I can never see where I can hear him. I know the area where he's coming from, but I can never see him. And he's got a voice on him. And it's raining again. Rain, 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 rain. It's going to do this all day. That's why we didn't do anything. It's going to do this today, tomorrow, the next day. Wonder if the doggies next door. Oh, their roof is back on their doghouse. I don't see them out there. Maybe they got left inside today. That would be nice. Okay. I think this next video is just going to be a bunch of oddball clips that I get take during the rainy time. Look at that chair. You wouldn't know that there's about 10 coats of varnish on it. Those things are heavy. That's cast iron with, I forget what the wood is, the slats. Okay, I'm done. We're going to go back to watching YouTube for something to do. Well, there's not. The third mallard is gone. We're down to just a pair now. Water's running a little bit dirtier than normal because of all the rain we had yesterday. Got them too. There are peas and carrots. I don't know why, this seems like it's my favorite section of the creek. We've walked the entire thing from one end to the other and back again. I didn't know if we were going to get out here or not. We got this low pressure down in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's steady bringing in clouds and rainstorms. I checked the radar before we left, and I didn't see any rain, but that doesn't mean anything because it could pop up and one of them clouds right there could start raining. So, but I missed walking yesterday. Ruby didn't get to go. I went to Lowe's wandered around the entire store. But that's not really a walk. That was, well, it was a walk by the time I walked all the way around the store and up and down all the aisles. They don't sell little bitty grills anymore. Now you got to buy a grill big enough to feed an army. You can buy the small ones online, but they don't have them on display. And every employee I stopped in the store said they didn't work in that department. So every question I ever had never got answered. But I'm finding if I don't get to get out here and walk with Ruby, my legs ache. If I'll get out and walk, I feel better. If there is something to that exercise crap. So Ruby didn't get to go anywhere yesterday because it rained on and off and on and off all day long. We're not really seeing much of anything down here today. The ducks, there's an egret way down there, but he may not be there. We're not even seeing turtles today. You can see just how much sediment and stuff's been washed in this creek. It's all brown and gooky looking. Place where we parked on what is that road? I forget the name of the road now. The parking area was actually full when we went there. I didn't think we were going to get to walk there and park. And then we went up the street to turn around and somebody left, so managed to sneak Trevor into a spot. She sees something. Who knows what it is. Okay, I'm going to quit filming. We're going to walk. There's our buddy the egret. I can actually see this flip out screen since I adjusted the brightness on it. So far all I'm doing is filming with this camera on automatic mode. Eventually I'll try and play with some of the manual settings. Okay, I'm gonna walk on past the egret. Only been a few people down here that walking and stuff. I think the reason I like this section of the park is because the green space is a lot wider and flatter. I can walk off in the grass with Ruby. Focus. Focus. I was having trouble focusing when I zoom in on something. It's all blurry. It did that the other day. There was a blue heron over at Wanamaker that I was trying to zoom in on, and it just stayed blurry. That's what this automatic thing does. It gets stuff in the foreground and it won't focus on something that you're zoomed in on. There we go. We got something. He's busy eating. Not paying much attention to me and Ruby. Okay, we're gonna go and leave him in peace. And there you have Mr. Eddie the egret having breakfast. Well, here's our third mallard all by himself down here. Guess he didn't win out the dating game. There have been a couple people walking. And all the bicycles seemed to be, just as we were getting out of Trevor, all the bicycles came riding up the path and got in the back of the pickup and left. So we haven't had to dodge any bicyclists today. Once we got past Gahagan, it got pretty quiet. Like some of these tree branches and stuff. This stuff looks like it was ripped off. Probably came down yesterday during the storm. It is very humid today. This wind and rain that's blowing in from the Gulf is tropical moisture. There was some talk at one point of it spinning up into something subtropical or even a tropical storm, but don't imagine the water is quite warm enough. Although it was definitely a low pressure and it was definitely spinning. I hope that's not a harbinger of things to come. Okay, back to walking. You've seen where they come out here with that mower thing and mow. This grass gets so tall, you literally can't even see the creek from the path. You can just hear it. I guess that grass is going to stay that way most of the summer. Well, I'll give you an update on my Wang Chung So Very Good hiking shoes. The cheap old tennis shoes I bought so I wouldn't wear out my very expensive hiking boots. They're actually working quite well. They're comfortable. I can walk several miles in them. My feet feel just as good at the end as they did. There's a little bit of cushion in them. They still fit perfectly, although I think they have conformed a little bit to the shape of my foot, but I got the laces tied so that I don't have to tie them every time. I've got them tied just right, and I can slip them on and off with the little loops at the heel. There has not been much in the way of anything down in the creek today that I've been able to see as far as wildlife. A couple of birds, 3 ducks and an egret. I have heard off on the other side of the creek up in the tops of the trees a couple of hawks screeching and carrying on, but I couldn't see them. Turkey buzzards soaring overhead, but those are pretty common. The deer that was hit down past my subdivision on Highway 78 seems to, they either came by and picked it up or the buzzards made quick work of it. And here we are at the bridge. This is a mile. I have not seen a single turtle today. It's unusual. Usually we see a dozen or more. We're going to come down here to the bridge and stand in the middle of the bridge, and then we'll turn around and walk back. I don't get any feedback on the channel about the people. My one subscriber, you're the one that's watching this. Out of all those 15 that's listed, I know a bunch of them are dead. So I got one subscriber and my mother. So nobody says whether they want to listen to me yammer on while I'm walking down a asphalt path next to a drainage creek. That's just a big pile of gunk, but it looks kind of weird. Like seaweed or something, but it's just slime. Okay. Well, other people on their channels who have way more viewers than me, they do time-lapse photographies of them feeding their faces and driving down the road and stuff like that. I figure, I don't know if this camera will do a time-lapse. I have to go into the settings and see. I know you can set it manually for different things. I don't think it does time-lapse. I don't remember seeing anything or hearing anything in the reviews about time-lapse. I did yesterday take the scissors to that one and trim her up some. Got a pile of fur off of her as big as a football. You can always hear her in the videos walking next to me just. And on an equipment update, I gave Amazon another $85 and ordered a shotgun mic and some wide angle lens and some filters. UV filters, the one I'm primarily interested in, but it came in a kit, so I bought the whole thing. I've never used anything but a UV filter, and that's because they're cheap and protect the lens. I've been the guy that used to be a photographer for National Geographic that I knew in the Army, the one that taught me all about taking pictures and developing film and stuff. He's the one who told me, buy a lens, buy a UV filter and put on it to protect the lens. You can replace the UV filter real quick and cheap. You don't have to worry about the lens. He did teach me everything I know about photography back then. Army had a photo lab you could go into, and all you had to do was pay for paper or the holders for slides, because I was doing a lot of black and white and a lot of color slides. I don't have any of that stuff left. It's either been scanned and thrown away or lost. Anyways, all that other stuff, I decided to go with Amazon's free shipping, and it'll be here in a week or so. No hurry. Okay, nothing to do but turn around and go back. There we go, up that way, and that's the way we're going to go back. And you've seen everything there is to show you. Oh, this bridge is hot. I guess when you're steel and you sit out in the sun, it's kind of rusty. Probably can't see it too well because of the shade. Here, let's look over here. It's a steel bridge. It's kind of rusty. I'm surprised they don't paint it. Not the only thing covering the steel is bird dookie. Okay, we're back on the path, headed back to Trevor. There's quite a bit of Spanish moss hanging off this tree. Big old oak tree. I'm filming it just for Kevin. There's a big old pine tree. But the oak tree is the one that has all the moss on it. There's some vines in there. Look at that stuff. It goes all the way up. Like a big curtain of Spanish moss. Okay, back walking. There goes our hawk buddy. That's the one that's been screeching. Gonna come back out in the creek. Hey, he's flying around over there. He's been scree, scree, scree. Now he's gone back behind the trees. Okay, I'll leave the camera out just in case he comes back. There's nothing to show you in there because we walked up on it. You see, you know who here. She saw it, I didn't. She wants to go down there, but there is a deer off in there somewhere. I'm not going off in there. That's a drainage creek.
How you doing?
Good, and you?
Yeah.
We just scared a deer here.
Oh yeah, there
We're not going to be able to see it. That is too, well, startled me when it took off because it was literally right there behind that bush. Ruby saw it and jumped, and off it went, making a thunderous racket. But it didn't go far, so I thought maybe I could see it back in there, but she could still probably hear it. Startled the crap out of me because we were right here on the edge of the path, and it was literally less than 10 feet away when it took off. It's really thick up in there. That's probably where they come down, right there. She got real interested in it. Yep, something's been coming up and down right there. If I was a frontier person, I'd know that that was tracks. She wants to go back to where that bush was, but we're not. We're gonna keep going. Tell you what though, you're walking along and just kind of enjoying the peace and quiet. Something that big jumps up that close to you, it'll sure startle you. And it was jumping and moving before Ruby started. She's still, there must be a bunch of them off up there in that thing. She just wants to go back to that one spot. She saw something back there. Little Miss Killer Ruby wants to go back to it. Come on, dog. We'll catch us a deer next time. We'll catch one and you can have a buddy in the backyard. There she goes. There's more stuff up there. I know there's stuff up there. She hears stuff that I can't hear. Okay. Enough looking for stuff I can't see. Come on, Ruby. Well, we're back down here at where Trevor's at. We did a couple miles. Ruby sure was wanting to go off in them woods after she saw that deer. I wished I'd have seen it, but I didn't. I was busy daydreaming and it just startled me. The guy that's doing the mowing just drove by, going on the other side down towards Richardson and Gahagan where we go. So, thank y'all for watching. Sorry, no time lapse of me eating or driving down the road. Maybe next time. I want to thank y'all for watching. And we're going to end the little video right here.